Morning, everybody, and welcome back to the second day of our symposium. This is being hosted by the Botanical Society of America, and broadly speaking, the symposium is about plant resilience for a changing climate, or plant resilience in the face of climate change. We have some really exciting talks for you today, talks I'm personally, very excited about. We shift themes just a little bit today. And the day 2 theme is more or less on the conservation of endemic species. We could kind of say, parentheses, we're going to be talking about some really interesting population genetics and some really interesting policy. One thing we heard, I think, quite a few times yesterday was how people can apply science. Science is hard, and policy is hard, and science-based policy is really hard. And so I think today we have a few great talks that are going to get at how you can actually apply some of this stuff. And we have some wonderful population genetics-based talks in the morning as well. So I think we're going to have a really fantastic day. Thank you, everybody, for the support on day 1. I think, what was it, 370 unique viewers throughout the day. So that's really quite humbling, I know, to the committee, and we appreciate all the support on that. I do just kind of want to remind everybody that some people, and not me, did some very heavy lifting to make this possible. Our chair of the committee, the wonderful Vivian Negron-Ortiz, has done an enormous amount of work, a lot of heavy lifting for this. Heather and Amelia with the Botanical Society of America proper have really put in a lot of work, and Lauren Reesberg, committee member, has done a lot for us. So once again, thank you all. And thanks to everybody who showed up yesterday. Thank you for discussing with us. We had some really active, wonderful discussions. Thank you so much to the people who are willing to not only give of their time and speak, but also serve as moderators. That's been just unbelievably helpful. And so thank you, everybody, for the support during this endeavor. You really made it a fantastic first day, and I have no doubt will be a fantastic second day as well. I do, since I have you semi-captive, I wanted to remind you, we heard about this yesterday a little bit, that we'll be offering or soliciting for papers for a special issue of American Journal of Botany that more or less reflects what the themes of this symposium are. And so look for that call soon. I heard a lot of great stories today about half-finished manuscripts, or, oh, I do really need to write that up. So you will hear from me quite directly and probably quite soon. These have been such a wonderful series of talks, so we'd be glad to see your submission for this special issue. Just a quick reminder, and certainly yesterday was wonderful. I don't think we had a single issue to speak of, but we do have kind of rules for a virtual symposium that more or less boil down to mutual respect and keeping your microphones muted most of the time so we avoid unfortunate background noises, of which I've been guilty more than once. So this is mutual respect, and you guys did a great job on that of day 1. We're not worried about it, just something we probably have to say. Again, we have a really wonderful set of talks scheduled for today, starting with, well, another heavy lifter, Nick Coyers, who not only is going to give a great talk, but helped us out with moderating and discussions yesterday. Sally Aiken's going to give a talk this morning, who I can't believe we don't have to pay to get, but here she is. Really, I'm really just looking forward to these. The contributed talks all look wonderful as well. Then in the afternoon, we'll shift into some really exciting policy discussion that I think will get at what some people were looking for yesterday. Not to steal the thunder from the first moderator. So our first moderator is Holly Prenderville, who I'm also very much looking forward to your talk later. I'll be turning it over to Holly in just a few minutes, who will introduce our first speaker. Is there anything, Heather, that you'd like to say on behalf of the BSA that I did not say?
I would just like to say welcome and thank you all for participating. We had such a great supportive group yesterday. The questions were flying in the chat, so that's wonderful. BSA is proud to host this. It's the first time that we've hosted a 2-day virtual symposium like this, and I'd say it's going rather well, and I think people have been enjoying it. I know I've been enjoying it. So thank you all for being here. And I'll just remind you once again to continue using the chat in your Zoom for adding questions for the talks. We do have a specified session for question and answer, but the moderators will be monitoring the chat so they can bring up your questions. And we pretty much keep everybody other than the speakers muted until we get to the end of the symposium day, where we'll have a 1 hour long time for breaking out into discussion groups. And at that time, everyone will be unmuted. So it just keeps things flowing along better and avoids that background noise that's so pesky that you mentioned earlier, Jeremy. So thank you again, and thanks to the committee that put in so many hours organizing this event.
Thank you very much, Heather. We will release some more information on the special issue very soon. The call is more or less ready for it, so hopefully the timeline, well, it will start very soon. I guess I won't overpromise something that I don't control entirely, but we are ready to start collecting papers for that. So I think you can expect to hear more very soon. With that, Holly, if you don't mind, I'll be glad to turn it over to you to introduce our first speaker.